I Saw the TV Glow is an experimental surrealist drama horror about two kind of misfit teens in the 90s that become obsessed with a TV show, bond over it, and then it starts to take over their lives as we begin to blur reality and fiction. From the creator that brought you We're All Going to the World's Fair, and it is very much so in that same vein, thematically, as far as themes of loneliness, banality, community, and finding yourself. This movie is not mainstream and it does not follow the normal flow of the average movie. This movie is not mainstream. It will definitely not be for everybody. There are some unrealistic time jumps, but I have to say, in comparison to We're All Going to the World's Fair, this one was much bigger budget, so much more interesting and intriguing, captivating. It stuck with me in a way that I haven't had a movie stick with me like this in a long time. Like, you're thinking about it, you want to talk about it, you want to hear what other people think about it, you want to go listen to the interviews and listen to the cast and the director speak about it. It's about loneliness, community, the banality of life, nostalgia and escapism, how it's bittersweet. Visually stunning, there's an amazing soundtrack. It's inspired by 90s TV shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Are You Afraid of the Dark? It feels a little goosebumpy. Pete and Pete, the director said, just based a little bit on Snick and what it was like to be a young person in the 90s having a young adult lineup on TV. This movie is more vibe and emotionally driven than plot driven, and that will make it feel like not a good enough payoff for many people. And initially, I was even a little bit disappointed with the ending, but after a lot of thought, I do sort of change my mind. This show is definitely worth a rewatch. I think it's more important to understand that if you get the emotional connection of this film, then you've already understood the point of the plot. You don't need to have everything spelled out to you as far as what certain things mean and what's real and what's not real. Because if you get the meaning, you've already got the movie. I think both things can be true and false at the same time. And you can tell this was made by someone that went to art school or film school. You can definitely tell I went to art school as well. And that does make me appreciate it because I enjoy movies like these. I enjoy A24 artsy movies. This is a little bit more of the spoiler portion of the video. Apparently, We're All Going to the World's Fair, I Saw the TV Glow. They're going to be part of sort of a trilogy that show going from dysphoria to realization to transformation, but also dealing with the parasocial relationship between media that we have, especially now. In the first one, we get what it's like growing up on YouTube, and this one we get VHS and what that was like to watch TV and have to be there on time to watch your favorite show coming on. If you grew up in the 90s, this probably will resonate with you in a very specific way, even more so if you are a millennial. Of course, anyone can find things to relate to it, but just specifically what it was like for you growing up being a young person in this time period, especially if you were different or a misfit or someone other. Speaks on what it's like to have a comfort show, and many of us have that now. This neurodivergence of it all a little bit, how we can go from having that comfort show to being the one watching in the audience to being the person starring in it, and that is, I believe, the main theme in this movie. There are ideals of rebirth and vicarious living, escapism, and how nostalgia can be an escape and also a prison at the same time, just depending on your relationship with it, especially if it gets unhealthy. Though I really like this movie, it is not without faults. I wanted more horror. I really like the horror that is in the movie, and we could say that the horror is the theme of the movie itself, because it can get a little depressing depending on your outlook. I wanted more horror. I wanted to go to the pink opaque. I wanted to literally, granted we got it, So technically we did, but it wasn't in the way that I wanted to. I would love for the Pink Opaque to become its own spin-off TV show in real time that I would watch. And again, I'm hoping it's not just, arts for art's sake. I did listen to many interviews from the director to try to understand this film the best that I could, but I do wish the ending had wrapped up just in a little bit less of an elusive way. I did want to know if it was real or not. What do you guys think? It doesn't really matter though, because I do understand the point of the film of sort of seeing what is in you, and it's a double meaning on I saw the TV glow because you literally saw the TV glow, but you also, or the character, or you, can experience that inner glow within yourself, which is that breaking point to hopefully sparking something anew. This is an experiential movie about experiencing time, experiencing memories and dreams. The colors are beautiful, the liminal space. I'm very into liminal space content, backroom content, nostalgia core content, and this checks those boxes. It shows how things can be saturated and beautiful and bright when you're young because your future is ahead of you, but how in that very same way as an adult, when things don't pan out how you plan, those same saturated colors and childhood things now seem creepy or depressing. It's a reminder of a future you don't have anymore. The main message being that there is still time, even when things do look bleak, if you're willing to reach that breaking point, if you got there, to allowing your own glow to shine. I really enjoyed the ideas of how we can romanticize things as children and even as adults, but sometimes when you go back to things that you enjoyed once, you see it in a different light, and it's sometimes not as cool or fun as you remember when you have those rose-colored glasses on initially. Going back, it may not be the same, and sometimes it is. The movie is definitely bittersweet. The ideals are bittersweet. It's something that sticks with you. I look forward to seeing it again. This is my kind of movie. This is definitely going in my top 10 horror movies for the year, without a doubt. So I do recommend seeing it. A24 is that company to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else this director specifically does and what more ideas we can get, especially dealing with media, like what will be the next idea of something, especially the generations that are now alive right now may have all experience to relate to that, but then just relating to things on the level of humanity and human nature that we all experience that can resonate with us.